Hello to you all, Millie Lloyd, hope everyone is having a good day. Skool Gamer 1971 with my top 10 for Antagonists. If you would, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Spread the word, as it makes the channel grow and puts a big old smile on this old face. Post your list down below in the comments, I look forward to reading them. So let's think about something for a moment. Arguably, in any game the villain has to be better put together than the hero of our piece. Think about it, people. Heroes can only be as good as the villains are evil. They are totally unsung. So I thought I will put together a little old list in their honour, or dishonour maybe. One where we show appreciation for those enemies we love to hate, or hate to love, or in my case, just love. As the great philosopher Megamind once said, do you know the difference between a villain and a supervillain? Presentation. At live long last, a long overdue celebration, so please get ready for 10 of the best, almost evil characters in my gaming experience. Number 10. Heihachi Mishima from the Tekken series. Let's travel back, way back, to when I played Tekken for the first time in 1995. I remember when I watched the demo, I thought, there's the boss, seeing him throw Kazuya over the cliff. Hey ho, at least it wasn't Laura or Harang. He was always a good boss and tough to boot. He was not one and done, especially not on the first time you played. Heihachi was introduced as the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu Empire, also the organiser of the King of the Iron Fist tournament. The fact that through the tournaments he wanted to defeat both Kazuya and Jin to obtain their devil powers. Unfortunately 7 is said to be his last outing. Even if it is, he was and is a great antagonist, and if there is an 8, he has left big shoes to fill, kinda clown feet sized. Number 9. Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet & Clank. Lloyd, Youngblood, this one is yours and mine. Dr. Nefarious is the main antagonist for Ratchet & Clank. Originally an organic humanoid with a massive head, having raised an army to infest Blackwater City, wiping out everyone. Captain Quark traced Nefarious to a robot factory on Magmos. When face to face he realised that he'd gone to school with Nefarious. Quark tried to give him a wedger, also known as the Melvin. Nefarious falls over the edge and onto the machinery. Now a robot, he sends a horde of robotic insects on Metropolis. Quark defeats Nefarious again. Nefarious is decapitated. Quark chucks Nefarious's head into the bin. Well, this is what Quark says anyway, and remember, a hero never lies. Well, maybe it's 75% true at best. Always with a plan. I didn't say it was a good plan, but always entertaining. With a cool look, a real sense of humour, I was looking forward to every cutscene. In Youngblood's, in my opinion, he was and is one of the main reasons to play the Ratchet & Clank series. Number 8. Sal Marcano from Mafia 3. Sal Marcano is the big boss of Mafia 3. He was the Mafia main man of New Bordeaux, but it's what he did rather than being that boss. Sammy owes him some money and is a friend to Sal. Sammy's sons, Ellis and Lincoln, who you play, Sal's son Georgie and a friend agreed to do a heist. The heist goes pretty well, to be honest. After you are at Sammy's bar enjoying your success, Sal and Georgie turn on you, killing Ellis and Sammy and wounding Lincoln and leaving him for dead. Why, you may ask? So he can go legit on this blood money, blackmail, bribery, robbery and murder to do so. Now don't get me wrong, I get that the name of the game is Mafia, but he is that twisted that when you kill his son, whoops, spoilers, there is no real emotion. I guess from the beginning you're only really doing the job to help Sammy out to repay the debt, but by the end I was just so happy to kill his ass. Number 7, Zeus from God of War. Okay, so he's Kratos' dad, spoilers. In the first game, he was Kratos' ally. However, when Kratos opened Pandora's box to help defeat Ares, he released an evil that consumed Zeus and the other gods. Zeus fooled Kratos into becoming mortal, destroying Sparta, in part to spite Kratos, and part because Sparta worshipped Kratos above Zeus. The entire story is tales of treachery and deceit, and whilst I get that it was not Zeus's actions alone, does it lessen the actions he'd taken? In other words, by the end I wanted to take Zeus's head off. Ultimately, he was cool because of the actions he'd taken, and no emotion for the fallen gods, Athena especially. Plus also, I can see a lot of Kratos in me. I wish. Number 6, Dutch van der Linde from the Red Dead Redemption series. Dutch was named after his father's nationality. He never actually knew his father. Individually what Dutch did was not that bad, but it was the sheer amount of bad stuff he did. His poor judgment in the people he trusted, turning his back on Arthur and leaving John Marston for dead. Dutch stood against authority and always surrounds himself with people of like mind. Life has little or no value to Dutch, who sees himself as more of a Robin Hood type character, but in truth it was an excuse to go on a robbery and murder rampage, without remorse. Eventually his paranoia led to the gang disbanding. In some ways you can pity Dutch. His upbringing was as irrational as he grew up to be, and in others you just want to shoot him in the face. My number 5, Vars Montenegro. Vars. If there ever was a poster boy for craziness, it would be Vars. A drug addict with a taste for murder. It makes no difference. Innocently being on the island as a tourist, native or otherwise, Vars decides their fates. His first kill was on behalf of his sister, Citra. Sometime pre-2012, Hoyt brought Vars to the island. Vars started to work with Hoyt, establishing himself as a leader of the pirates. They pillaged, stole, murdered and raped their way through the island, making natives their slaves to work for Hoyt. He entertains every time he's on screen. Far Cry's antagonists make or break the game. Vars put Far Cry arguably onto the mainstream map. PS, for Far Cry 3 is on my list to do. Most definitely. Number 4, the boss from Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater. With not enough time in one video to really tell the story of why the boss is one of the best heroes and villains at the same time in one video, so let's try and do a condensed version, sorry in advance. She was born in 1922. In 1941 she was invited to the SAS for training. In 1942 she founded Cobra. 43 she was ordered to assassinate one of the scientists working on the Manhattan Project, nuclear weapons. This was because Russian agents had reported that one of them was a Nazi spy. However, the truth outs itself. Russia wanted to sabotage the Manhattan Project, ergo to win the nuclear arms race. She failed the mission, and whilst dodging a bullet to her gut, she was pregnant at the time. A shot grazed her brain and she ended up in a coma. Coming out of the coma within months, she was back to 100%. Later she said she regretted her failure, as she believed it led to the Cold War in 1947. His survival caused tensions between the politicians. In 1951 she was involved in nuclear tests, rendering her infertile. In 1959 the CIA refused to help her. Her assignment was given to her by the president to help recruiting Russians who were against the new single-party regime. Even when one of the CIA spies handed her over blueprints, the boss tried to tell them that they had been tampered with. They ignored her. Soon after, they started to blame the boss for everything, telling her to prove her loyalty, she would have to assassinate the father of her child, who had been taken away at birth. Her husband had been given the same mission, and he surrendered his life to her. She stood by America through it all to the bitter end, even when she was taken out by Snake. She was a boss in Metal Gear 3, so she's on here, but it was never released to the public of her heroism. To the world, she was a terrorist, an assassin, a gun for hire. But for those who knew, she was a hero, damn it. And sorry that this has been such a long one. My number 3, the Joker, Batman Arkham series. Okay, so we get back into the time machine and we go way further back. The 1970s, my childhood. I grew up with 3 superheroes, 4 if you include Sports Billy, 5 if you include Captain Caveman on screen, Batman, Spider-Man and Superman, 6 if you include Supergran. Only I had one supervillain per se. Batman had the Joker, 7 if you include Hong Kong Phooey. Whilst the TV series was camp as you like, it was the dark undertones that I really liked. The Joker would kill people in the TV series. It was the craziness of the guy that really made the TV show. Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger made damn fine Jokers also, for different reasons. But for me it was Mark Hamill. He is the Joker. He sounds about as crazy as he should. The Joker should unnerve you. Kill him without conscience, nor remorse, nor reason. Anyone who has ever watched the videos of Mark Hamill playing the Joker, it's amazing. The madness you see in the game is mirrored by Mark. Seeing him do this with facial expressions and gestures is quite unnerving. His plans are always as mad as he is, and in the Arkham series, I feel it's the best version of the Joker. He is the star of the game and steals every scene he's in. 8 if you include Duck Dodgers in the 25th and a half century. And so we move on to my penultimate entry, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Way back when we lived in the BY years before YouTube, and you had to really search for spoilers. When you had to buy game guides or cheat magazines or watch gaming shows hoping that the question that week would be about the game you was playing. Games Master and Games World come straight to mind. I got Final Fantasy VII, and to be honest I didn't know a lot about it. It was originally for Nintendo's new machine, the Nintendo 64, but Nintendo stuck with cartridges and Square moved it to the PlayStation. It moved from 2D sprites to 3D polygons. At the time we had to wait for UK releases. Say it released today in Japan, it will be August for the US release and around February next year for the European release. Oh, and we would have it run slower with massive borders. Now we moan over 5 days. So you get to see Sephiroth and you're like, okay, he looks damn cool. That is until the end of disc 1. Now I don't know about anyone else, but I had Aerith in my party every step of the way. Then out of nowhere, Aerith became a shish kebab. Then, unless you had a Game Shark, she was done for. You got her level 4 limit break as she died. Then, over the next few years, every magazine, website, and even eventually around the campfire had every which way to bring her back. This was a few years ago and what you had to do. This was one of my own personal favourites. Every materia to max level, equip mirror to switch hit points for magic points, Aerith's limit break level 4, everyone's ultimate weapon, maximum level for everyone. Remember, you always start from level 1 at the beginning, both level and limit break. All this before the end of disc 1. As somebody who tried to do all that, ultimately I did all that, and having spent well over 2 years doing so, I got to the end just before the Sephiroth fight and searched the planet. She was nowhere. At that point, I hated Sephiroth so much. I had wanted my revenge so bad for 2 years. I thought I was working towards it. To have it taken away from me, watching Aerith die 8 times by the end, I wanted him dead. P.S. I know they may say that she was always planned to be dead. If so, why is there speech bubbles for her speech at the end of the game if you use a Game Shark? There must be a way to do it, or it was removed. P.P.S. I did get a Game Shark, but it never quite felt right. I just wanted to earn it, damn it. And so on to my number 1, Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. There is one and only one Albert Wesker. The man oozes machismo, the shades, the combats, the voice. It doesn't even really matter that he's treacherous and he's the main antagonist of the first game. He's that cool that in Resident Evil 5 he bites the bullet and dies in the volcano. 4 games later, 6, 7, HD remake and 2 remake, fans are still calling for his return. Recently, the actor DC Douglas went into the Capcom offices and fans lost their minds. Don't even get me started on the fanfic. Here is the equation for the uninitiated. Wesker plus Chris is equal to Brokeback Mountain, 50 Shades of Grey and Tentacles. For anyone who doesn't believe, look it up. He has been my PlayStation avatar for nearly 5 years. I personally thought I was by myself in being a fan of Wesker, but no. It's not just that he worked on viruses, nor that he used stars as his lab rats, not even that he was going to sell it to a competitor. It's not even that he infected himself to get the virus out of the labs. No, it's because he looked so damn good doing it. Whilst many charismatic supervillains have come after, I would suggest that Wesker was and is head and shoulders above them all. Well, that's about it for me today. If you like the list, there is plenty more content like this on my channel. Enjoy the rest of your day. Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.